Hello everyone, I'm standing here inside our brand new structure that we had built just last week. They finished up on Thursday, so if you remember a few weeks ago, one of our carports got destroyed, and so we had to have a plan to build a more permanent structure, and so here it is. It is fantastic. It is 4 bays. We have plenty of space in here now to store all of our equipment and all of our product, and any extra supplies that we need can safely and securely be stored in our new building. So we're really excited about that. A lot has happened since our last video. I know I made one about 3 weeks ago about mowing recommendations, and then we just got busy. Unfortunately, the weather has not been cooperating with us very well at all. We've had a record amount of rainfall at the last part of April, which has now slowed down a little bit of our production. So if you are one of our customers, I do apologize. There's nothing we can do about the rain and the weather and the wind. So between pop-up storms and showers one day and then 30-mile-an-hour winds the next day, that's kind of put a little hindrance on our application schedule. But like we tell everybody, we schedule our applications 6 to 8 weeks apart, weather depending, and this is the weather depending part. If you are one of our full-time customers and have been for a few years, good news, we've been monitoring all of the lawns. Lawns are looking great this time. They're growing fast, they're growing rapid, and weeds are at a minimum right now, as long as you follow our cultural recommendations of proper mowing height, seeding at the appropriate time of year, and any other recommendations that we have throughout the year. You know, that's really key that you follow your part of the plan and making sure that our part of the plan gives you the best results. A couple things we want to talk about in this video real quick are some common weeds that we're seeing this time of year, and one that is not a weed but we get a lot of calls about, and we want to help educate and inform not only our customer base but anybody interested in lawn care. So I'm going to take you around our property here, show you some of the common weeds that we're seeing right now, not only at our facility but maybe in your own lawn, and then one thing that is not a weed at all but oftentimes gets confused with weeds. So let's go for a little field trip. Alright, so now we're out here kind of on the back part of our property here, and unfortunately a lot of the times when a customer or a homeowner doesn't know what a weed is, they say, well, I have crabgrass. Crabgrass is a very specific type of grassy weed, but what we found in the industry over the last 30 plus years is homeowners oftentimes just say whatever kind of grass they don't like is crabgrass. Unfortunately, that can get pretty confusing if we're speaking a different language than what the homeowner or the customer is. A couple weeks ago, I had a phone call that the customer had a bunch of crabgrass coming up already, and that the crabgrass pre-emergent didn't work. So I got out there, and I knew that crabgrass hadn't been germinating yet, but the customer did not know that. So I want to show you crabgrass right now, how big it is or how small it actually is. This is May 2nd. Alright, so if you call a lawn care company here in the Midwest, here in central Indiana, and say you have crabgrass, you have to really know what you're looking for at this point of the year. So this right here is how big crabgrass is. It's no bigger than that, right? Tiny little plant, tiny little leaf, but that is baby crabgrass right there. So if you have crabgrass, that's what it looks like at this point. It's not going to be some, 2-foot tall plant leaf right now. So walking around our field that we have here, I found a good, nice, healthy patch of yellow wood sorrel. You can identify this very easily. Let me see if I can get a good view of it here. There we go. It looks like clover, but it has a heart-shaped leaf, and then when the plant matures, it looks like it has tiny bananas on it and some yellow flowers. It's actually an edible plant and tastes like sour apple candy. So this is a common weed. that we're starting to see now in the springtime. Move to a different part of the property now, and here is a patch of white clover. I think you can be able to see that. But also mixed in with the white clover is what we oftentimes get phone calls about for weed service calls, and it is the grass seed heads. So every year about this time, the grass will form a seed head. It looks like this. Let me see if I can get a better focus on it here. Alright, there we go. So the grass forms this seed head, and it looks like a weed, right? If you look closely here in the lawn, you can see there's quite a bit of it mixed in with the grass here. And this is a normal thing. This is a normal part of your grass's life cycle. It's what your grass does naturally on its own. It's not a weed. It's actually part of your lawn. So don't get grass seed heads confused with it being a weed. It's not a weed. When you mow, it mows the seed head off. It happens every spring. It's part of the grass's natural life cycle. So be careful when you're identifying some weeds in your own lawn that you don't get that grass seed head confused. Oftentimes folks think that it is chickweed, and it's not chickweed. And just next to our clover is another very common weed that we see this time of year. It makes fields look purple, and then thin areas and lawns look purple. It's purple dead nettle. Pretty recognizable flower and stem. The stem actually is a square shape, so if you roll it through your fingers, you can feel the square shape of the leaf or of the stem, and then the leaf itself is almost like a heart shape, and it has a purple flower that comes up on top. Now, one weed that I did not point out is, of course, the dandelion. Those are recognizable from a mile away almost. And dandelions, purple dead nettle, henbit, chickweed, clover, those are all things that are covered and taken care of with our spring application, herbicide application. When you have a good, solid lawn care program, you focus on the weeds that are actively growing for that time of year, and these are the weeds that we see right now, and we kind of focus on heading into the early parts of spring and into May now. When the temperatures change, the weed life cycle changes, and we adjust our program as necessary to kind of meet what weeds are growing and then be most effective for your lawn care application. So that's a little bit about some of the weeds that we're seeing right now in the middle of all of these rain showers that we've had here in central Indiana. Some basic weed identification. Those are common weeds that everybody should know if you're doing your own lawn care. And one of the biggest things that we stress is if you are doing your own lawn care, you need to know and understand what you have going on in your lawn and how to properly treat what's going on in your lawn. And the first thing is proper identification. If you have no idea what you're trying to kill and what kind of product are you going to buy, how are you going to know what to use, when to apply it, and the timing of the application. So the best thing you can do is have proper weed identification. So I hope this video helps. We've got a lot going on. We're getting ready to start some of our special applications. We have our mosquito controls coming up. We're getting ready to start our vegetation controls, moving on to our tree and shrub care. So there's a lot happening here in the month of May, not just the Indy 500, but a lot going on in the lawn care industry as well. And we're really excited about the next couple of weeks, and hopefully you can join us for the next few videos as we continue on through our season.